You're speaking of care out of the home.
Both care in the home and out of the home, both.
This would still be true as far as gifting?
Yes. Medicaid, just so you know, is very liberal, if you will, in the state of Oregon. A lot of states don't have what we have available. And this whole idea about starting with care in the home, a lot of states won't pick that up. Their programs won't pick it up. Oregon picks it up. So as long as you have the two activities of daily living and you want to be at home and the care assessment says, yeah, you should be at home, Medicaid's going to pick that up. Some states don't do that. So we're very fortunate that we live in the state that we do for that specific purpose right there. It's kind of soup to nuts on Medicaid. They're on the front end, they're on the back ends. A lot of states aren't that way.
So actually, for example, with my mother being in independent living, she could actually, if there were two approved of those daily living activities that she was unable to do, she could go on Medicare or
Sure.
Medicaid.
Sure, and she could be at home, you could be in residential or independent living and to have the two ADLs, and if the care plan allowed it, of course, they could come in, it could be one of the services, maybe the particular home provides that care, and Medicaid would pay for that. And that's the big thing now, it's about the transitions. A lot of the homes now are kind of across the board, you know, it'll start with independent or residential living, it'll go to the assisted living and on into memory care, and that's kind of the theme, that's what's taking place in the marketplace out there now, is so that the elder never has to move to another location. They used to kind of get, you know, moved around, and now with the baby boomers and the market being what it is, they're just trying to roll all that together, so once you're in a place, you get to stay there. If you're going to grow old, Central Oregon is the place to do it. I mean, what we have is phenomenal.
One other quick question. With Medicaid, in a facility, for example, do they get less money for Medicaid patients?
Great question. So remember this contribution of care, remember this, okay? So if there's any money left over out of the ill person's income, that's going to be paid to the home, okay? And so what happens is, it doesn't make any difference. When it comes to Medicaid, in other words, do you get less care? Do you get sub-level care for it? Here's the thing. Many times we'll have professionals from the elder care services world in here, and I will actually ask them to address that question because they're the people that do the assessments, they're the caregivers, they're right in it, they're involved in it. The caregiver doesn't even care whether that person is on Medicaid, because it goes back to what Pete talked about, was that assessment, that care assessment, they're following that care assessment. And we have them in Medicaid patients in many of the homes. They're treated exactly like everybody else. They're breaking the law if they don't. If we're going to put somebody on Medicaid, we're up front with the home that we're doing that. What they want is they want you to at least be private pay if possible for a time, right? And so we ask them, we work with them, what are you looking at here? And we'll tell them what we can afford, and we will actually work that out. But once you're in a facility, it's against the law. A lot of times, and we'll actually work with the families and say, how much can you afford to pay for care privately, so we can deal with that part of it, and that's just a part of the solution that you go through. It's very rare that we go just straight into Medicaid. It's very rare.